What's up, everyone? Tom the Dilettante here, but I'm not the star of today's show. I'm here with the Adventure Zombie, and today we're going to do a quick interview with him and walk around his rig. Let's check it out. Okay, hey, I'm Phillip Miller, the Adventure Zombie, and we are out here in the Garden of the Gods in southern Illinois, and I guess I'm going to do a walk around on my vehicle. So we'll go ahead and start with the front. F44 Bumpers. Absolutely love these things. These have proved themselves, like in Moab. You know, this thing was... I don't think I would have gotten down that trail without this bumper, honestly. And then I have the worn Axon 55S winch up front and the Big Hoss fair lead. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering about that, because I was wondering about that when I was getting into a winch. The armor plating and everything, really nice up front. The skid plates from Rally Tech. I have the engine and transmission skid plates underneath here. And those, I mean, they're only 1/8 inch thick, and I hear a lot of people saying that they wish they were 1/4 inch like the primitive ones, but honestly, as thin as these are, you can go out, beat them up, dent them, take them home, 4 bolts, take it off, pound it out with a hammer, good to go. So really enjoy that. So I've got the KMC Bully KM 708 wheels, and these are 15 by 7, 5 by 100, plus 10 offset, and 4.39 backspacing. And the tires are BF Goodrich TA KM3s, and those are at 215/75 R15. And the combo is pretty nice. The tires are extremely loud. I say that every time I talk about my tires, just so everybody knows. Tires are extremely loud. The suspension system I have in here, it's Rally Tech 2-inch top hat spacers and Rally Tech 1-inch raised springs, Bilstein B6 struts all the way around, and the 1-inch overload lift springs in the rear. With no sway bars and the springs and struts and everything, honestly, unless you hit a tight corner at speed, you don't even know that it doesn't have sway bars. It's amazing. Moving around to the side, we can talk about our lights, I guess. I've got aux beam side shooter ditch lights on the Crawford Performance mirror light pod brackets, and you know, just aux beam, super cheap. I think they were 40 bucks for the set. Same thing with the light bar up top here, another aux beam curved 32-inch. This was $99.95 on Amazon, and so always go cheap when you can with the lights, because I feel like when you're wheeling as hard as I'm wheeling, you're gonna break something. Rally Tech Rock Sledders. This is probably the thing that I recommend to people the most. If you are going off-road and doing crazy stuff, the combination of rock sliders, specifically these rock sliders, because they're 7 inches wide and they actually protect the side body of your car because they stick out past the body panels. And you can see that in one of my videos. I actually move a boulder with these things. Amazing. But the combination between these and the skid plates, I mean, I feel like I'm invincible when I'm out on the trails. Absolutely love them. Moving up to the top here, we have a channel strut that I put in. I got from Donald from Soft Roading the West. Got the idea from him. And so I put in this channel strut and just painted it black and cut it all to shape. Got it in there in a position that would be useful to me. And so I have my recovery boards mounted on this side, and my shovel and my awning mounted to the other side, and of course my light bar mounted up front. And then the Thule Aero cargo box up top. That's where I keep the majority of my gear. You can actually fit a surprising amount of gear in this thing. I was pleasantly surprised. We got F44's bumper on the rear here with the optional tire swing and Rotopax mount. It came with these Nylite flush mount pods for the rear, 2-inch receiver so I can still tow something or put any receiver accessories on there, and then of course the 3/4 inch shackles for the front and rear. That's really nice. And really, I mean, I can't talk about these bumpers enough. Absolutely love them. If you want to get one, you better get on the waiting list because there's quite a back order on them. Having the Rotopax fuel cans on there has been really nice. I don't have to worry about running out of gas when I'm driving across the country, going out into the middle of nowhere into public lands to find a camp or something like that. I never have to worry about running out of gas. I always have 6 gallons with me. I got the Rhino Rack Sunseeker awning. This thing, I was pleasantly surprised at the quality of this for the price. It's really well constructed and I haven't had any issues with it. I've only used it a couple of times, but I really enjoy it. I would talk about my Orbis overlanding rack wing, but yesterday I was wheeling just a little bit too hard, as you can see from the state of the vehicle. And apparently with 3.5 gallons of water on there and hitting a rut hard enough to actually stop the vehicle was just a little bit too much, and it popped the suction cup off of there and broke these plastic or ABS hinges. However, that being said, it's a good thing that these are ABS, because if those were steel, it probably would have damaged my roof rails. And so it's good that there's that breakaway feature. I got this switch panel, and I got that to control all my lights, and I have everything wired up so I can turn it on without the car being on. Not all of the switches are wired up right now, but I also have air compressor. And yeah, having everything right here at the touch of a finger is really nice. And as a lot of people know, that when you try to put accessories in these things, there's no real place to mount switches, unless you're Tom the Dilettante, of course. Then you find an excellent place to put them. But yeah, overall, this thing, you know, I said a little bit about this in my last video, but it's essentially still a stock vehicle with bolt-on parts. You can take everything off of this probably in a day and get it back to stock. And I think that's one of the coolest things, is people that aren't really wanting to get into full-blown off-road and they still want a daily commuter. This is something you can do to your vehicle, and it's still comfortable. You can still commute with it. It's still completely under warranty, minus the suspension, because the suspension is all new. So if you're thinking about doing something like this to your vehicle, I would say go for it. You know, there's no real reason not to, other than time and money.
Well, thanks, dude. Really appreciate you taking the time to let me interview you about your car.
Absolutely.
Badass rig. I think it's super awesome. You guys ought to check out his channel, The Adventure Zombie. I'll put a link in the description below. Super great stuff. He takes his toy out much more often than I do, so he's getting good use of his car. I aspire to basically do what he does. Well, thanks again for watching. This is Tom the Dilettante, and
The Adventure Zombie.
Catch you on the next time. Take care.
Thanks. The first mod, if you were building out from scratch, that's kind of a toss-up if you ask me. The top hat spacers and wheels and tires, and really you don't even need wheels. You could just get aftermarket tires for your stock wheels. So that would be one, and the other one would be skid plates. So I would say that's probably tied 50-50. Skid plates versus wheels and tires. The wheels and tires will make you have a little bit more grip off-road, and the armor plating will obviously protect you when you're off-road. And so it's kind of whatever you think your off-roading style is, I would go with one or the other. That's a good question. So, as for regret, I will say that using these magnetic mounts to run my wires from my roof mount light down to the switch panel underneath the hood, I do regret using these because you get dirt underneath there and the paint is scratched, and so you have these circle marks where the magnets were. I wish I would have never used those magnets. What's next? That's a good question too. You know, I've been looking at all the stuff that I've been doing to this thing, and it's pretty capable, but honestly, I think my next thing is probably going to be a torque locker for the rear end and a center diff lock. But I have to wait until they actually make one for 2021 because they don't have one yet. But that is definitely in the books for the next thing for sure.